What's up, guys, and welcome to another episode of the Fight Within podcast. It is our first episode of 2023. I'm starting it solo because Ben's under the weather. He's just getting over something, and so we please pray for him, wish him well, a speedy recovery. He's been going too hard, man, and had his body was kind of telling him to reset, and so when he comes back on, he can touch on that. But I wanted to real quick just do a recap of the previous two episodes. We had Phil Robbins on, and then we had after that we had for our 100th episode we had Frankie Quiros, and they're both known in their respected industries for being successful and doing awesome things. But the one thing that I feel like they both had in common was that they were able to clearly identify like what they were passionate about, and I think a lot of times we're not able to identify that as people, as entrepreneurs, as business people, as even employees and stuff like that. Like, you never know what you want to get out of working at a certain place or working with certain people, and I feel like if you can identify why you're there and what your purpose for being there is, that ride or that season that you're there or doing that business is probably going to go a lot smoother. And so, to recap a little bit of Phil's episode, really cool that he went into, starting his own business and turn that into ministry, and is able to pour into other men that maybe have similar desires, and is able just to kind of build God's kingdom that way. It's rad. It's really, really cool, and even now in racing, he's going to do things that he's passionate about and has always wanted to do. And so that aspect of it is really neat. It goes to show that if you work your tail off and you focus on the things that help other people, that benefit other people, eventually you get rewarded, and that could be your reward is seeing other people succeed, and then you get to do the things you really want. And it sounds cheesy and cliche, but there's so much to that. And like I said, we talk about it all the time, where we don't really go into detail about what the process is like or what people go through, whether a businessman or entrepreneur or whatnot. That there's people think you're just, the right people, you made the right connections, you work just hard enough, you get promoted, and then all of a sudden you're VP, you're president of this company, or you develop this company and you hit the lotto, and it doesn't work that way. I myself do digital marketing. I've been doing it on my own since 2016, and it's like we're in 2023 now, and it's still such a roller coaster. It's up and down, and so even now, one of the men's groups, the only men's group I'm a part of, we're meeting. I was talking to a couple guys. We'll end up having them on here sometime. One's a business consultant, one's a business coach, and it's Paul and Peter. And no, they're not one of the disciples, or joke gone, not funny. But they were telling me, Peter was actually telling me, he goes, go narrow and deep. And I was like, what the hell do you mean by that? Like, what does that mean? He goes, go focus on what you're good at, and try to penetrate the market with those tools, and go focus on that, master that, and then move on to the next thing. And being as stubborn as I am, and always having reservations about what people's advice and things like that, I was like, man, I don't know. Not that I don't know if that's not for me, but I was like, man, there's so much. I want to do so much in my field with digital marketing, and it's such a loose term now. I do websites. I manage people's Google My Business profile and Yelp profiles, and the hard thing about that is that it's supposed to be a recap of the last two episodes, that I'm sitting here having a conversation with myself. But the hardest thing about that, and we'll get back to Frankie's episode, is you want to educate people, and when people aren't educated as a business person or as a business owner, they want results now. And so we have to start getting better. I have to start getting better, and my team has to start getting better at building or running ads, because business people want results now. What we do helps the organic growth of the business or the service or product, either or, and it gives you longevity. It builds longevity. Unfortunately, a lot of business owners nowadays, they want results now. They're paying you X amount. They want results like yesterday, and that's just not the case, especially with Google. If you know any amount of Google on the business side of it, with the search engine optimization and the results and algorithms and keywords and backlinks and all that stuff, it takes a while to build. You just can't do one thing. Even what we do with managing the Google My Business profile, that's one facet, or one of the tools in your tool belt when it comes to online marketing. There's so much more to do, and so if you master that, the results that it gives you locally is tremendous. And so enough about me, but to cap that story, because there's so much to do in my industry, I'm like, man, I don't know if I should just do one thing, because there's agencies out there that have a full service. They do websites, graphic design, photography, video. They do A through Z, and so you pay them a flat rate, and you're gonna get everything in house. So that's what's hard about being in my industry, and taking that advice that Peter gave me, where he's like, hey, go narrow and deep. And it's like, yeah, but there's so much more. Like, we could potentially lose this client because that agency is offering an array of services and we're only offering two. And so we'll deal with that when we get there, and we'll have Peter on and kind of talk about that. Maybe he can give us like a business analysis or whatnot. But but to Frankie's episode, I that was super inspiring to me, because here's a kid that, and not a kid, he's 30 years old, but someone that came from a very similar background as I did, someone that is Hispanic just like I am, and has had tremendous success in his industry and in his field. To see that, and to have him here, and to know that he is accessible, that he is very easy to talk to, and that he continues to work hard and kind of hone his craft, even though he's already had success, is really, really special. I think more people need to come on, and open up and kind of share their journey and their story of whatever they deem as successful. Uh, it's special because there is a lot of people that were in that position that he was in, or the way he grew up and the way I grew up, that there's kids that don't see a way out. They think that is it, that their surroundings, and their environment defines them, and that's who they're going to become, and that's all they have to offer the world, and that's it. And then they screw up, and your typical inner city story where a kid is you know joining gangs and tagging and stealing and cheating, and ends up in prison or dead, and it's like over and over again. Like, when are we going to wake up as a community and as a people to just say, like, stop? There's been examples. There's been so many examples of people that have done that. One of the guys, because we're in Santa Ana, one of the people that come to mind are the guys from Suavecito. They're an example like that grew up with not the best environment, but made something out of it. What's the other one? Homeboy Industries, and this is just in the Hispanic community. I'm talking about inner city as a whole. Race doesn't really matter, but if we want progression, if we want success, and we want our communities to be better, there's examples out there, and there's already there is people that are willing to share that information. I had a meeting with one of our buddies, Ernie, that Ben had introduced me to. He is a marketing guru and very well known in the car. It's like a gearhead in the car industry, and one of the things we were talking about is how successful people don't ever want to share their secrets. They don't ever want to share how they did it, and that is a fault. That's something that isn't the best. If you just think about it logically, if you were to sit here and say, okay, if I own 10% of the market share when it comes to, I don't know, freaking, there's an American flag there, the making flags. I own 10%. I know how they're threaded, how they're sewn, how they're designed. I know the ins and outs because I started in that industry when I was very young. And I own 10% of that market share. And I'm going to keep it to myself because that secret is going to stay with me and my family, and we're not going to share it with anyone. Well, there's a cap. Competition breeds growth. Competition forces you to grow. And if you're willing to share how you did it and the success that you had and why you were successful, you still have to work. I tell people all the time, it's like if Gordon Ramsay sat right here and said, look, you're going to need this particular steak. It needs to have this fat ratio. You're gonna use salt and pepper and this butter and thyme and garlic and whatever. And we both cook it. He shares his recipe. And I cook it the way he tells me to cook it, and he cooks it the way he knows how to cook it. It's still gonna be different because you still need to add your own flair, your own twist to things. You know, it's that he can share the recipe all he wants, but he still did the work. He has years and years of knowing how to do that and how to make that steak. I haven't been cooking that long. I don't know how to do it like he might. And so it's just different. Even if a chef shares his recipe, the ingredients, or you might not have the same ingredients as far as brand. Like this butter, people know this butter tastes better than this butter. Kerrygold Irish butter is better than your name brand, store brand bought butter. Like it just tastes better. And then it comes down to preference and all that stuff. To make my point is if you share how you were successful, all of a sudden, if your market or your industry is this big, it is not going to get this big. So you're making the industry larger. The industry is growing. Therefore, the percentage that you own and how much you're going to own is going to grow naturally. And a lot of people don't see it that way. A lot of people want to keep it to themselves and be selfish, and not help it grow. And which is okay, to each their own. But I'm very much of a different thought. Like I ran into a YouTuber at Target, and we'll have her and maybe her husband on, but we'll have her on for sure. And she was actually sharing with me that her and her community of YouTubers and other family members that she has, not family members, other families that are friends that are also YouTubers that she has, they all help each other out. They've built like this little community of people that are YouTubers, that are families, and they're kind of in the same niche, if you will. They're kind of doing the same thing and they help each other out. And it's like, do you not, if that person's successful, you're successful, and then that person's successful, and you're kind of just, everyone's piggybacking off of each other. So if this person hits a wave of success and momentum, you guys can join in. And when that dies down for them, and then these people hit that wave of and momentum of success, now you guys can jump in, and everyone's just helping each other out because that's how you guys started. You started helping each other out, so why not keep that? And I think that mindset is so different in business because, especially here in Southern California, it's a dog eat dog world or whatever, however you say it. Dog eat dog is how you say it. And it's like I'm gonna step on this person to get to the next level. I'm gonna use this person as a stepping stone or a stepping stool or whatever to get to the next level and gain my success and gain my momentum. And once I make it, screw them. I don't need them anymore. And that to me is not cool. There's no longevity in that. You're looking out for yourself and your best interests. And yes, you have to do that sometimes, but you don't step on other people, and you don't do those type of things. At least that how I think and how I was brought up and raised. You just don't do that, and to have Ernie or Frankie on here and to share that he has a mastermind, that he's helping other people, that he's sharing how he was successful, proves my point right. People are thanking him. If you guys follow him on social media, he's always posting like success that he has, but then also like messages that people in his community and his mentorship program are like, man, I hit X amount of dollars. I did 10,000 a day. And it's like, well, I spent $200 on ads and I made 10,000 bucks. It's like, who doesn't want that? How does that not make any sense? And the fact that Frankie was able to help them in that is like, yeah, man, you could probably sleep well at night knowing that you are helping people when no one helped you. And it's business. Sure, people are gonna probably comment and talk crap and say, oh well, he's charging people. Yes, you have to, like an extent, and it's a very, if you guys know anything about it, if you follow it, it's a very minimal amount. It's not like he's charging people $80,000 to be a part of his group. It's a very, very reasonable amount that people are paying to be a part of his program, and the success that they're having is insane. And so, he's not sponsoring, he's not affiliated with the show, but if you guys are in that industry, and in that clothing industry, you guys go check it out. We're gonna have to hop on it. I'm gonna talk to Ben about it. Maybe we'll be a part of it. But those two episodes were pretty special. They're really, really cool. And that's the nice thing about having a partnership, is that if Ben's down for the count, I'm here. I can go ahead and film a couple episodes and kind of pick up the slack where needed. He's so freaking busy and doing so much, which is awesome. And the amount of people that he's helping out and what he's doing is pretty rad. And so you guys wish him well and pray for him, like I said, and make sure that he comes back full strength. And we'll have some more content for you guys, for all you guys that helped us, that bought anything from our website. That listened or watched the Fight Within last year in 2022. Thank you guys. It means the world to us. It's a big part of the reason why we keep doing this, because it is frustrating at times when you don't see growth the way you want to see it. But it's just about being consistent. And if I go to the gym for a week and don't see growth, I don't stop going. I got to keep going. And so for everyone that supported, for everyone that listened, our wives that are probably super annoyed with us when we do this because we're gone for so long. Thank you guys. Thank you for the support. Thank you for an awesome year and what's to come. We had our 100th episode, so we'll figure out a way to celebrate that. And thank you guys again. We look forward to this year. We look forward to 2023 and the things that are to come, and our growth, and the things that we can do, and the guests we're gonna have on. We have some pretty cool guests already lined up for you guys. And go to the website, check out the fightwithinpodcast.com. We're in the process of revamping it. We got some new designs on, and we're working on it little by little. And so go check it out, the fightwithinpodcast.com. Go support us. Continue to listen, continue to share, and helping us grow. We love you guys. Thank you for the support, and remember that everything was impossible till someone did it.